we have also succeeded. We are a part of the teacher education family. At this ceremony, the Spring 2024 pinning, which stands for Professionals Embracing Novices, you will be pinned by your mentor, who is agreeing to provide professional support to you throughout your career. You will have the support of this mentor and your entire ASU family. As you will not forget us, we won't forget you either. Mother Teresa once said, "I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the water to create many ripples." As teachers, you will change the lives of every student you encounter, one stone, one ripple at a time. Thank you for answering the call to educate our next generation of students who will become our future leaders. Congratulations. I'm going to turn the program over to Dr. Gilmore.
Thank you, Taylor and Dr. Metlin, for such welcoming words. At this time, we'll enjoy a poem by Janiyah Charlton, and Ms. Gilmore, the Director of Field and Clinical, will then share the history of the pen with the audience.
Good evening. The poem I'm sharing with you is entitled A Teacher for All Seasons by Joanna Foos. A teacher is like spring who nurtures new green sprouts, encourages and leads them whenever they have doubts. A teacher is like summer whose sunny temperament makes studying a pleasure, preventing discontent. A teacher is like fall, with methods crisp and clear, and lessons of bright colors, and a happy atmosphere. A teacher is like winter, while it's snowing hard outside, keeping students comfortable as a warm and helpful guide. I am a teacher that will do all these things, for I, Janiyah Charlton, will be a teacher of all seasons. Thank you.
It is with great honor that I have the pleasure of reading the history behind the Professional Embraces Novice Pen. The Professional Embracing the Novice Penning ceremony represents the passing of the torch of the pedagogical knowledge and the responsibilities that comes with it. This ceremony is pivotal in the journey of pre-service teachers as it marks the accumulation of years of hard work, academic pursuits, and the transition from student learner to professional educator. Albany State University's Educator Preparation Program believes inducting new teachers into the profession is vital to the success of beginning teachers because it signifies a future teacher's acknowledgement and acceptance of the responsibility for facilitating all learners. Moreover, it recognizes the novice teacher's broader commitment to society to engage, understand, support, and transform and inspire all learners. The pinning ceremony is a symbolic rite of passage and a time-honored tradition marking the occasion where the novice practitioner is welcomed into the teaching profession. Realizing the goal from student to professional is accomplished with the assistance of veterans and retired teachers willing to mentor beginning teachers, thus making the concept of a professional embracing the novice pen a reality. Albany State University adopted the pinning ceremony in the fall of 2001 as a precursor to a forthcoming National Council for the Accreditation of Teacher Education visit scheduled for the spring semester of 2003. At ASU, as this mentoring concept was nurtured, each subsequent year, new teachers were provided with additional support via the penning process as they embarked upon their teaching careers. Beginning their field experiences in schools, the penning ceremony marks a milestone in the teacher candidate's commitment to lifelong learning and as a professional. The professional educator will pen the novice practitioner learning, love of learners, and the loves of bringing the first two together, Scott Haddon. The School of Education is proud of its graduates, knowing that they have been trained to become reflective, insightful, culturally responsive, technologically competent practitioners. We further submit to you, the public, that these novice teachers are truly bona fide, certified, and highly qualified. Therefore, with pens and a pledge, teacher education majors commit to teaching and are prepared to take their place among their future colleagues, teaching, guiding, motivating, and empowering and inspiring the next generation of learners. Thank you.
Thank you, Janiyah and Dr. Gilmore, for your words. Another quote from an ASU scholar: "One of the main reasons I want to become a teacher is the profound influence that educators have on shaping the lives of their students." We'll now continue the program as is outlined with an introduction of the speaker by Tatiana Logan, followed by a message of inspiration from Dr. Shoemate.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tatiana Logan, and it is with great pleasure that I will be presenting to you all our guest speaker for the evening, Angela Shoemate. Dr. Angela D. Shoemate is a native of Dawson, Georgia. She is the daughter of Mr. George and Bertha Williams of Dawson. She is happily married to Mr. Abraham Shoemate and has one son, Austin, a daughter, Ariel, and one stepdaughter, LaPortia, a goddaughter, Asia, and a godson, Waylon Jr. She is the daughter-in-law of Mr. Willard and Martha Fulmore of Albany. She attended and received her elementary and high school education in Terrell County Public Schools in Dawson, Georgia. Dr. Shoemate graduated from high school in 1986. She furthered her education and received her bachelor's and master's degree in early childhood education from the unsinkable Albany State University. In 1997, she received her educational specialist degree in specialist degree in elementary education from Troy State University in Phoenix City, Alabama. She became certified in educational leadership and supervision from Albany State University in March of 2002. Dr. Shoemate received a specialist degree in educational leadership and completed all requirements for her doctoral degree from Argosy University in Sarasota, Florida in March 2006. Dr. Shoemate is in her 33rd year as an educator and is a longtime administrator in the Dougherty County School System. She previously served as a principal at Northside Elementary School, Albany High School, and Lamar Reese Magnet School of the Arts. She was previously an assistant principal at Northside Elementary and a teacher at Morningside Elementary School. She is currently the principal of Lincoln Elementary Magnet School. Dr. Angela D. Shoemate served as an adjunct instructor at Albany Technical College. She is a member of Beta Omega Zeta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated and a life member of the Albany State University National Alumni Association. She is spiritually connected with the Mount Zion Baptist Church of Albany, Georgia, under the leadership of Dr. Daniel Simmons, where she serves as an ordained minister and the pastoral chief of staff. She played the character of Willie Mae in the stage play The Measure of a Man, written, directed, and produced by Matt Hartwick. She played the character of Christina in the stage play It's a Man's World, So You Say. And she recently played the character Regina in the stage play Dr. Love, both written and directed by Tori and Tiffany Jackson of Tufani Entertainment. She is indebted to her friends, family for their constant support, encouragement, and inspiration as she continues to seek ye faith first, the kingdom of God and his righteousness, Matthew 6:33. I now present to you our guest speaker and my new principal, Dr. Angela Shoemate.
I want to say like I do on the morning announcements. All right, all right, all right. Oh, wow. I did bring a couple of things because everywhere I go, normally there is a table, but guess what? We're going to improvise. There's my table. You could just put that down right there. Yeah. All right. Well, good deal. Good deal. And I brought a trash can for a reason. All right. So, good evening, everybody. All right. So, I'm going to start off by saying thank you so much, Ms. Logan. As your new principal, I accept. So I say to you, to the members of the families, our friends, and the pending candidates, to the faculty and staff, to the School of Education, all who make up this grand night tonight, we do say thank you so much for the privilege and the opportunity to stand before you this evening and addressing you on this wonderful occasion. Now, there is something wrong because normally I take this microphone and I walk back and forth, but look like they want me to stay in one place. So I'm going to try. No, they don't. But I'm going to try to stay in one place tonight. Try, okay? So we'll gather on this beautiful evening in May to celebrate with you, to celebrate all of your achievements, your successes, perhaps certain failures, your courage, your doubts, your passion, but most of all, to welcome you into the teaching profession, because teachers still make the difference. This is a new chapter in your lives. Yes, you have reached another milestone. You will be presented, what? A School of Education pin that not only signifies your association with Albany State University, where you have been learning and growing, but also represent your affiliation with the most rewarding, the most challenging, the most honorable profession of teaching. Because guess what? Teaching and teachers, you still make the difference. So, this is a day to feel proud and to congratulate yourselves for the hard work that you've done and your intelligence. And then to simultaneously give thanks for the extraordinary opportunity that has been given to you to acknowledge the teachers you've been privileged to learn from, to study with, and to acknowledge the excellent education you've received. And then, of course, give thanks to those who enabled you to be here, because teachers, you make the difference. Now give them a round of applause. Okay, teachers, give them a round of applause. Did they help you out? Wait a minute. Okay, let's give them a round of applause. Don't be shy. Okay, good. Thank you all so much. They gave you all one. See, that's the first lesson. Okay, all right. So now I'm going to tell you, I see some of my colleagues out there, so they're really grading me like right now. There are so many people who are so proud of you. Those people you just clapped for, your family, your friends. Your parents, are they out there? Your new principals, are they out there? So they are so proud of you, and they're waiting on you this coming fall. So congratulations. You've ran the race. You've ran the course. You've passed. You've gone to the finish line. So much hope and so much promise lie ahead of you. So graduation, they say it's tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Oh, yeah. All right, graduation is only a concept, because tomorrow will be coming. Penning is tonight, and that's exactly what it is, just penning. Graduation will come tomorrow. That's what it is, just graduation. But does it mean that we're going to have teacher retention? Does that mean that we're going to retain you? The big thing is when you get in that classroom. Tonight is fine. Tomorrow when you go past the lights there, it's fine. But when you step foot back in the classroom, that's when the story gonna be told. Let's give them a round of applause. They scared already. So when I say graduation is only a concept, in real life, every day you graduate. What do I mean by that? You dream and you set goals. You conquer those goals, and then you dream again and you set another goal. Along your new journey, I must tell you that you will face many challenges and hurdles, but know that teachers make the difference. You will be wounded many times in life. You will make mistakes. Some people will call them failures, but I've learned that failure is only a way that God is saying, excuse me, you're moving in the wrong direction. Because teachers make the difference. So success is all about going through rejection after rejection after rejection until you find the right way to do it. That's what it is. Because you're going to need all of that when you step foot in that classroom by yourself for the very first time. While trying to reach your goals and dream, you will face a ton of negativity if you haven't faced it already. Along the way, that will be certainly to affect your faith in your ability to realize them. Now, you see this tower? It keeps falling. And that's for a reason. Because no matter what, when you step foot in that classroom for the very first time, don't ever throw in the towel. Your tower may fall down, but you pick it back up again. And you try again. And you go for the long haul. Doors will be slammed in your face. Because what's going to exempt you from being hurt? You must pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and then you knock again. How do I know these things? After 33 years in education, 12 shall I say, 11 of them were just teaching. Second grade, the only grade I've ever taught in my life. But then the other 21 been in administration. And I've been an administrator. Well, I heard somebody say that it took me 4 times to pass the GACE. But look at you now. You didn't give up. You're right here tonight on this stage. I have you to know, in order for me to become an administrator, I took the test once and didn't pass. I took the test twice and then passed. I'm telling you my business now. I took the test 3 times and I didn't pass. I took it 4 times and I didn't pass. I took it the 5th time and I didn't pass. I took it, that's right, that's who I called on. Because after this, but the thing is, you never ever give up. Because the time you don't take it is you just don't know. That's the time you'll pass it. I did it 1 more time for the road. That 6th time, I passed the praxis. That's what they called it. But what if I would have given up? So when they hired me, they didn't ask, how many times did you take the praxis? How many times did you take the GACE? And that could be for somebody out there who's waiting on the results. How many times? It does not matter how many times. What matters is that you don't give up because you make a difference. As I was saying, I am here because I did not give up. Be patient. Persevere. Nothing worthwhile is easy. No one of achievement has exempted failure, have avoided failure. But they kept at it, and they keep at it. And that's what you've got to do. They learn from their mistakes, and they don't quit. Wow, if I can say this loud enough, surround yourself with people who will laugh with you, dream with you, and hold your hand during the scary parts, because there will be parts that will be scary. Pray. Even if you don't say, but Lord, have mercy, or Lord, help me. Don't you get in the habit of complaining. All the time, and you keep those negative people as far away from you as you possibly can. Because there will be negative people. But you're going to make the difference. You will have tough critics, mean bosses, sweet bosses, difficult co-workers. You're going to be difficult. And think it's somebody else. But these people are here to make you stronger and to make you smarter. Learn from them. Don't shy away, because teachers still make the difference. You will have an opportunity to make the world a better place, to benefit mankind, to ease the suffering of others, wow, to educate, to heal, to entertain, to eliminate. Teaching is an incredible service. It's an act of service like no other. And when you enter into service of others, you have chosen a job that ultimately is about the greater good. By becoming an educator, you have decided that you want to dedicate your life to literally making a difference. Yeah, there will be days like these, my mama said. But you will be the difference. You will make the difference. So, we should have one thing in common. When we are climbing to new levels in our own lives, after today, after tomorrow, after your first day, guess what? We're also lifting others up. We're also lifting our community up. We're making our families proud. We're making ASU proud. So always aim high. Don't settle for what you think you can accomplish. You pursue the impossible. The impossible. I love it when somebody say, oh, that cannot be done. What? That's a challenge. Rise to the occasion. Do your best at all times. And remember, you're coming in new. There's a vision already set in place. And sometimes you may not even know the vision. It's not for you to know the vision. Did you know that? But you to trust the process. Trust the process of your leader. I would say, and don't try to go and take over. That's the way to get yourself out of there. And we want you to stay in there. So again, it is a teacher like you that will have a positive influence on the student's achievement. It is a teacher like you that will look back at the close of each school day with a heart filled with joy, knowing that you have made a difference in the students' lives. It is a teacher like you. I want to bring my mirror so you can look at you. That will inspire, motivate, and help students discover their strengths and to conquer their own challenges. It will be a teacher like you that will love your students, who will accept them for who they are. If the parents had another child to send you, they would. But they send you who they have. And we are to love all of our boys and girls, no matter what the zip code is. It's a teacher like you who will inspire and push students to achieve their own greatness. It is a teacher like you that will extend beyond the classroom walls to shape the student's character, their aspirations, and their future successes. It will be a teacher like you. A teacher like you that will build our future for the next generation of doctors, lawyers, plumbers, electricians. Wow, and yes, even create a teacher like you, because you make a difference. Now, I did bring something. I brought some props because I want to be a teacher like you. So I brought a bag. And I heard them say that in that classroom on the first, I do bring a bag. I'm the bag lady. So on the teacher, that first day, you're going to get there and all 25 going to show up. And you're going to have your plan together. But whatever you plan, it's going to be out the door. Because you're going to have 2 or 3 jumping. That's right, 3 or 4 crying. Somebody trying to show you the new shoes. It's going to be time for lunch. Then you don't know how they're going to get it home from the first day. So there's a sticky situation. It's going to be like Pam cooking spray. But I want you to know you can get out of any sticky situation. You start early. The first day of school, all you have to do, get them in, know their name, see how they're going home, get them fed, send them home. Well, we want you to try teaching first, but start with your routine. But you'll see, I'm not telling you anything I don't know. So I brought my Glad trash bags for a reason. I took a trash bag out, and I'm glad I brought them. I'm glad I brought them because I brought something else. Because they're going to be negative people, especially those teachers who've been teaching for a long time. Did I say that? Those are your so-called friends. You'll find out. Somebody gonna say, it's easy for you because you knew. No, it's really not, I promise you. It's not new, and it's not easy. In fact, I'm busting my tailbone every day trying to make sure that I do the right thing by our children. But you know what? You don't have to listen to that stuff. You know what you do? Girl, child, boo. Put it in the trash. Have yourself a trash can, because somebody's going to say, kids today are different. You're right, they are different. We're not teaching the same child back in the day. They are different. But guess what? You make the difference. If you want to complain about how much and better student behavior used to be, I simply suggest perhaps many of them dropped out of school if they were like this. But guess what? You're not going to allow that to happen, because you'll be the one to make the difference. So when somebody comes to you negative, girl, put it in the trash. Well, in my school, see, because you're going to go to a lot of professional development, they're going to be trying to tell you something new to do. Well, in my school, child, we do it like this. We ain't studying that stuff. We ain't, Let me tell you something. You knew. You knew. You're not tenured yet. You knew. So when you go to these professional development, you try to soak in everything that you can. And even if you don't want, you better act like it. So when those veteran teachers say, child, don't listen to that stuff, child, you better listen. Throw that in the trash. You understand me? Don't let it hit the floor, though. I'll pick it up. You say, I know about research. Well, you should know about research. You're just coming out, huh? It said, I know better, but I'm just choosing not to do better. What? I'm sorry. Throw it in the trash. And don't leave your room nasty now. Don't do that. We never did it this way before. You are absolutely right. We've never done it before like this. They're going to tell you any and everything. Do you know how I got where I am today? I'm going to tell it. Thank you. I'll tell it. Because when I was a teacher, I did everything my principal asked me to do, and then some more. But I had teachers telling me, girl, you crazy. Girl, I wouldn't do this. Girl, I wouldn't serve on that committee. She put me on every committee. Girl, you got family. You need to do this. You need to do that. You know what I kept doing? I kept serving. I kept serving my leader. Because I served my leader, when it came down to an assistant principal position, they asked my principal, which one of these would you choose as your assistant principal? My principal told them, because they told me what my principal said, I would choose Angela Shoemate. They said, well, why? Because that is the one that will make you proud. I have seen her in action. If they never see you in action, they don't know what to tell the people. So let them see you in action. Be genuine in what you're doing. It will take you places. But just know, you turn a deaf ear to all of that negative stuff that you are going to hear. But then I brought my bag again. Because here it is. There would be problems on the first day. But is there anything too hard? I brought the resolve, because he can resolve all your problems. He lifts up. He takes out. He destroys the stains that other folks leave behind. He'll resolve every last one of them. Then you say, well, I don't feel like getting up in the morning. I had a bad day. Girl, you better get some joy. Unspeakable joy. Joy that the world didn't give. I'm not going to preach it, but you see what I'm saying? And the joy that they can't take away. But you've got to make sure that you know that. And then I brought you some deodorant, because you better make sure you know your craft. Make sure that you have studied. Make sure that you have planned. Because if you don't plan, what it say? You plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. But it's no secret what he did for me. He'll do the same thing for you. Again, a new day, a new attitude, a new season, a new school term is coming. And then, yes, you've got to pledge to do your very best. Tonight, you're taking a pledge to say, yes, I am going to do what I need to do and what must be done. I'm going to make the people who have invested in me, I'm going to make them proud. And you say, well, girl, I'm a coffee drinker. The best part of waking up is Folgers in my cup. Well, I beg to differ. The best part of waking up is knowing who fills my cup. Who fills your cup? You my new employee. Help me out. I was just checking that was a test. Knowing who fills your cup. My cup runneth over. I got a saucer right here just for you. See, because when I learn something and I have something new and I want him to put me some peace in here because I just had a hard day. I need some happiness in here because something just popped off in the family, but I still got to go to my 25. Something just popped off in here, but you know what? Look like my cup runneth over. Look like I can't move. Look like my cup runneth over. Everything falling down, that's what it be. But my cup runneth over. Look here. I'm going to move it with me. I have been trained to do just this. When the goodness is in here, when the peace is in here, who fills my cup and it runneth over, look like I got a saucer. Don't y'all call this a plate? It's a saucer. I can share what has been given to me with other people. Learn to help others along the way. Again, my cup runneth over. Your cups are going to need to be filled every day. Now, let me put this down. What else is in the bag? I think this is it. I brought something. I didn't know we were going to have plants. This was the only plant I could find. And look like it's green. Y'all see this plant? Yeah. That's what it's like. There will be hard days. And you're going to wonder, do I make a difference? Am I impacting somebody's life? There will be days that you're going to cry. There are going to be days when you want to lean and depend on somebody else. There are going to be days you don't want to come back. And we're going to have to call you and say, girl, get on up. Come on. There are going to be days. But let me tell you, it's like planting a tree. The thing about education, we want to see it now. We want to see the results now. But sometimes you're going to dig the hole. You're going to put the plant in there. You're going to water the plant. You're going to fertilize the plant and realize that you've got to move to Florida. So you will never see that tree grow. You will never see that fruit, that tree bear fruit. Somebody else will reap the benefits. That's how teaching is. You are going to plant the seed. You are going to water it. You're going to nurture it. You're going to be the doctor. You're going to be the nurse. You're going to be the lawyer. And next thing you know, they're going to leave you. But somebody else going to reap the benefits. Because you too one time had a teacher. But I want you to know that you are making a difference. Whether you see it immediately or not, you are the difference maker. So I end almost with this. There was a little boy sitting under the bridge. just throwing the apple up in the air, minding his own business. There was a man there in a limousine. He came by. And he said, can you point to me how to get to Albany State University? The little boy said, I sure can. Go down to the first traffic light, take a left, and Albany State will be on your right. The rich man in the limousine did just that. He went down to the first traffic light, took the left, but there was no Albany State on the right. But the road that he was traveling led him right back to the little boy. By that time, the rich man was mad. He said, well, little boy, you must have given me the wrong directions. The little boy said, oh, yeah, that's right. They've done construction down there. Go down 2 traffic lights, take a left, and Albany State will be on your right. Well, the man in the limousine went down 2 traffic lights, took a left, but there was no Albany State on the right. But the road he was traveling sent him right back to the little boy. He said, look at you, sitting under this tree all day. You are just an idiot. You are stupid. You knew you didn't know where Albany State was. You sent me on a wild goose chase. The little boy looked at the man as polite as he could. He said, I may be dumb. I may be stupid. I may be even an idiot. But one thing I'm not lost. So then, I want you to know, because you make a difference, our students won't be lost. You're going to study and you're going to be lifelong learners. And you'll never throw in your towel. So now, I'm going to go to my seat in a few minutes. I'm going to tell you one more because it's important. It's important. There was this lady, and don't worry, I'm going to tell you she died. It was this lady, she died and went to heaven. We're going to call her Miss Wallace. Miss Wallace is not in here. We're going to call her Miss Wallace. Miss Wallace died and went to heaven. And she said, oh my gosh, I made it. I've been teaching all my life. And I finally made it to heaven. But up in heaven was St. Peter. Met her at the pearly gates. St. Peter said, welcome, Miss Wallace. Miss Wallace, it's so good to see you. I saw what you did down on earth. Miss Wallace looked, and St. Peter said, but there's a test you got to take. She said, what? I've been tested all my life. In and out of the classroom, I've been tested. There were days I didn't want to go. I've been tested. St. Peter said, yeah, but only 3 questions. She said, all right, since the exam is just 3 questions, give it to me. He said, Miss Wallace, tell me, which 2 days of the week start with the letter T? She said, that's easy, because I've been taught by the best. Today and tomorrow. He said, wait a minute, hold on. Today and tomorrow? Well, I guess I wasn't clear, so I'm going to give you credit for that. The next question is, how many seconds are there in a year? She said, oh, I've been taught by the best, St. Peter. You should know the answer. There are 12 seconds in a year. He said, well, what? How do you get 12 seconds in a year? She said, St. Peter, January 2nd, February 2nd, March 2nd. He said, well, I guess I wasn't clear. See, in teaching, you got to be clear. He said, I guess I got to give you credit. Then he said, well, St. Peter, what's the last question? St. Peter said, well, what is God's first name? She said, St. Peter, you shouldn't be asking the question. You know God's first name is Andy. He said, hold on. I see how you got the 2 days of the week being today and tomorrow. I see how you got the 12 seconds of the year, January 2nd, February 2nd, March the 2nd, April the 2nd. But how in the world did you get God's first name as being Andy? Andy walks with me. Andy talks with me. Andy tells you that I'm your own. So let me tell you something. Andy, take Andy wherever you go and let your light shine. Because boys and girls, brothers and friends, will be able to see your good works. Not to glorify you, but to say, well done, teacher. Well done. Let your light shine. Give them a round of applause. And last but not least, as I walk off this stage, somebody going to help me to pack this stuff up because they're going to come back a little later on. Let me tell you something. I always take this Mountain Dew. Don't do me, do you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's please give Dr. Shoemake another round of applause for that amazing bag of wisdom she shared with us today. Amazing. There were so many good tips in there, young people, so hopefully there's something there for you. At this time, we'll begin the pinning ceremony. A little order of the ceremony to help you with it. We will ask that all involved in the pinning access the stage from the right, my left, and return to your seats using the same right exit. Drs. Stafford and DeQueer will reveal our graduates with the highest GPAs by their program area. The graduate, when your name is called, you'll proceed to the podium to share your reflections with the audience. And then you'll go back to your area, and everyone in your program area will be pinned at that time. So at this time, Dr. Stafford and Dr. DeQueer, would you please join us on stage? Yes. Hello, Dr. Stafford.
Good evening. The elementary education program at Albany State University prepares candidates to teach all academic content areas to children from pre-kindergarten through 5th grade. Each graduate will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in early childhood education, as well as the State of Georgia Induction Level Certificate in elementary education. This year's highest GPA among our practitioner in education is Kanijah Gardner. At this time, we will have reflections from this esteemed practitioner.
Good evening. Many people have asked me, why do you want to be a teacher? Well, I want to be a teacher because I've always been passionate about education. Seeing the transformative power of knowledge and the positive impact teachers have on students' lives motivated me to make a difference in the classroom every day during my student-teacher experience. As a teacher, I know I can foster an environment that is positive for students to feel that they are valued, supported, and motivated. Also, as a teacher, I am given the opportunity to create a safe space for students to express themselves. grow, and develop confidence in their abilities. In my student teaching experience, I had the opportunity to help students to develop critical thinking skills in math in an effort for students to develop a love of learning as well as sense of confidence in their capabilities. By doing so, I hope to make a meaningful impact on their lives and help them to achieve their goals. I love my students. When I first started at Mitchell County Elementary, I was very quiet and shy. I was nervous when I first entered the classroom with the students. It was my first time with fourth graders. With classroom management, I learned that I had to enter the classroom firm and fair. If you are not firm, students will take the advantage of you. I was surprised at the different styles of management styles that I observed. I truly understand the importance of being creative and innovative in my approach to education. I was excited about designing engaging lessons and collaborating during planning with veteran teachers on implementing new teaching strategies and adapting to the evolving needs of my students to ensure their success. I learned that student engagement and classroom management are in relationship that cannot be separated. Effective classroom management is essential for a positive learning environment for all students. In conclusion, I believe that teaching is more than just conveying knowledge. It is about inspiring and guiding students to reach their full potential. And dreams are not just about our own personal desires and aspirations. They also have the power to inspire and uplift others, as Albany State University has lifted me to attain my Bachelor of Science degree in elementary education in the morning, May 4th, 2024 at 10 a.m.
We will proceed with pinning of the elementary education candidates. Will all elementary education candidates please stand at this time? When your name is called, please step forward to the front center of the stage for pinning and return to your seat and remain standing until all candidates' names in early childhood education have been called for pinning. Highest grade point average, elementary education, Kanaja Gardner. Degree, elementary education. School assignment, Mitchell County Elementary School, Baconton, Georgia. Principal, Ms. Erica Jones. Cooperating teacher, Ms. Tyra Rux. University supervisor, Mr. Morris Arrington. Kanaja Gardner is penned by her principal, Ms. Erica Jones, and Mrs. Shanika Lee. Once your candidate is called, you can start making your way up to the front. The second candidate, Passion Barthel, elementary education, school assignment, Live Oak Elementary School, Albany, Georgia. Principal, Dr. Latoya Jackson. Cooperating teacher, Ms. Nadia Rice. University supervisor, Ms. Zapporia Gilmore. Passion Barthel is being penned by her university supervisor, Ms. Zapporia Gilmore, and cooperating teacher, Ms. Nadia Rice. Taylor Gill. Elementary education, school assignment, Lee County Pre-K. Leesburg, Georgia, principal, Mrs. Ashley Brim. Cooperating teacher, Ms. Kimberly Pierce. University supervisor, Ms. Zipporah Gilmore. Taylor Gill will be penned by her university supervisor, Ms. Zipporah Gilmore, and myself, Dr. Betty Stafford. Diamond Thomas. Degree, elementary education, school assignment, Turning Point Academy, Albany, Georgia. Principal, Mrs. Barbara Harvey. Mentor teacher, Ms. Dietrich Sanchez. University supervisor, Ms. Zipporah Gilmore. Diamond Thomas is penned by her mentor teacher, Ms. Dietrich Sanchez, and principal, Ms. Barbara Harvey. Shania Hampton, elementary education, Lamar Reese, Elementary Magnet School of Arts, Albany, Georgia. Principal, Dr. Jacqueline Ponder. Cooperating teacher, Ms. DeHaviland Moody. University supervisor, Zipporah Gilmore. Shania Hampton will be penned by her university supervisor, Mrs. DeHaviland Moody. Tatiana Logan, elementary education, Lincoln Elementary Magnet School, Albany, Georgia. Principal, Dr. Angela Shoemate. Mentor teacher, Ms. Sanjia Skila Sachali. University supervisor, Ms. Zipporah Gilmore. Tatiana Logan is penned by Mrs. Streeter, assistant professor of mathematics, computer science, and physics. Jessica Mack. Elementary education, school assignment, Live Oak Elementary, Albany, Georgia. Principal, Dr. LaToya Jackson. Cooperating teacher, Ms. Patricia Littleton. University supervisor, Ms. Zipporah Gilmore. Jessica Mack is penned by her cooperating teacher, Mrs. Patricia Littleton, and Assistant Professor, Educational Leadership Program Coordinator, Dr. Carolyn Medlock. Tamora McDaniel. Elementary education, school assignment, Daughtry Pre-K, Albany, Georgia. Principal, Dr. Gail Solomon. Cooperating teacher, Mrs. Melissa Moses. University supervisor, Ms. Seporia Gilmore. Tamora McDaniel is penned by her cooperating teacher, Mrs. Melissa Moses, and Mrs. Generva McDaniel. Kimberly Smith. Elementary education, school assignment, Live Oak Elementary School, Albany, Georgia. Principal, Dr. LaToya Jackson. Mentor teacher, Kanisha Wester. University supervisor, Seporia Gilmore. Kimberly Smith is penned by Mrs. Cheryl Smith, and mentor teacher, Mrs. Kanisha Wester. At this time, we will recognize our elementary education Cairo campus. The elementary education program at Albany State University prepares candidates to teach all academic content areas to children from pre-kindergarten through 5th grade. Each candidate will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in early childhood education, as well as the State of Georgia induction level certificate in elementary education. This year's highest GPA among our practitioners in elementary education is Cerna Guadalupe. At this time, we will have reflections from this esteemed practitioner.
Okay, first and foremost, this is a very beautiful campus. I don't really know anybody here. I got no family, no friends. I got a few professors that I've met and been very helpful with me along the way. I've seen a few familiar faces that I had in class, but nobody I've really, am close with. So it's a little something new for me. I don't even live in Georgia. I live in Florida. My time at Albany State has been the best decision of my life. As I'm close to completing my journey of becoming a teacher, I couldn't have done it without enrolling at Albany State, and I feel like it's been the best decision because, again, I've run into so many great professors with great knowledge, wisdom, ways to correct me along the way, and and I'm somebody that likes to work really hard and take everything in as much as I can. I feel like it's helped me a lot. I've already got over about a year of teaching experience and classroom management, relationship with kids that you have with all kids. I really feel like those are the main things, the important factors of being a very successful teacher. Not just the kids, but also their families, like their parents. That way everything is less difficult than it can be, because I feel that teaching is always going to be hard, but if you can make it less difficult and learn to be, I'm not even reading this reflection that I'm doing, I'm kind of just speaking from how I feel right now. But I feel like if you could just embrace that and learn to be comfortable when you're not supposed to be comfortable, I feel like you should be all right as far as being a teacher goes, you know? Again, I agree with what a lot of people have said about making a difference. You're probably not going to see it right away. It might take a long time. But it really is, there's not a lot of things that make me happier than being able to make a difference in a child's life in the classroom, maybe with their character or anything like that. There's really not many things that make me happier, you know. So, again, thank you to any professors I've had, advisors. They're not here today, but Mrs. Frazier, Quinetta Frazier, was my mentor teacher for my student teaching at Eastside Elementary. Being around her helped me so much. She's got such a good relationship with kids, and she's so resourceful. That made a big difference. And she taught 4th grade. And this teacher, Mrs. Corker, she was not my mentor teacher, but anytime I needed help with lesson planning, teaching strategies, or even little details, she also offered to help me. And I think being around those people taught me the important lesson of being willing to help others, anybody at any time. And that made my experience that much better, you know? Because again, teaching's not easy, but I really love it. And now I can say I'm doing it certified.
We will proceed with pinning of the elementary education candidates. Will all the elementary education candidates please stand at this time? When your name is called, please step forward to the front center of the stage for pinning and return to your seat and remain standing until all candidates' names in early childhood education have been called for pinning. Highest grade point average, Guadalupe Cerna. Elementary education, school assignment, Eastside Elementary, Cairo, Georgia, Principal Shaquila Wright, mentor teacher, Miss Quinetta Frazier, university supervisor, Miss Letitia Austin. Guadalupe Cerna is penned by his mentor teacher, Miss Quinetta Frazier, and university supervisor, Miss Letitia Austin. Lacey Moore, elementary education, school assignment, Hutto Elementary School, Bainbridge, Georgia. Principal, Mr. Quentin Fuller. Mentor teacher, Miss Pamela Oliver. University supervisor, Miss Letitia Austin. Lacey Moore is penned by her university supervisor, Miss Letitia Austin. Hannah Salter, elementary education, school assignment, Spring Creek Charter Academy, Bainbridge, Georgia. Principal, Mrs. Heather Worsley. Cooperating teacher, Ms. Jamie Donaldson. University supervisor, Ms. Letitia Austin. Hannah Salter is penned by her university supervisor, Ms. Letitia Austin. Soledad Sanchez, elementary education, school assignment, West Bainbridge Primary School, Bainbridge, Georgia. Principal, Mrs. Ortega Ross. Cooperating teacher, Ms. Courtney Williams. University supervisor, Ms. Letitia Austin. Soledad is penned by her cooperating teacher, Ms. Courtney Williams, and university supervisor, Ms. Letitia Austin. As Dr. Medlin mentioned earlier, it is bittersweet. We are very, very happy for these students, but at the same time, we're sad because we have come to love them. And to let you know, some of them have already completed paperwork and have been accepted into our master's program. And if you haven't completed your paperwork, as graduate advisor, I will be calling you. I have your number, okay? Please give all elementary education teachers another round of applause.
Good evening. I am Dr. Erica DeQueer. I am a professor of middle grades education and program coordinator for middle grades in Education Broadfield programs. It is my pleasure to introduce the candidates for their degree with initial certification for both middle grades and Education Broadfield programs. I will begin with middle grades education. The Middle Grades Education Program at Albany State University prepares candidates to teach two of the following content areas: English and math, science, or social studies in grades 4 through 8th grade. Each graduate will receive the Bachelor of Science degree in middle grades education, as well as the State of Georgia Induction Level Certificate in Middle Grades Education. This year's highest GPA among our practitioners in middle grades education is Ms. Jordan Gruber. At this time, we will have reflections from this esteemed practitioner.
Good evening. In all of my collegiate years, I've enjoyed nothing more than being in the classroom. One of my greatest fears was entering a classroom and hating what I've spent the last 3 years working towards. I am so proud to say I have fallen in love with teaching all over again. I first wanted to become a teacher because there was something about taking information that was brand new, being able to deliver it to another person, and then having them understand the concept. When I entered high school, also my first public school, I wanted to teach even more because I saw how easily teachers gave up on students that needed them most. I wanted to make a difference in their learning experience. Now I want to teach because it is up to the older generations to teach the younger generations how not to survive, but thrive in this ever-changing world. The only way to do that is to teach them to think for themselves. I want to develop the next generation of original creators and innovators because those students will be the ones that make the world a better place.
I was surprised most by the depth of content knowledge that is needed to teach mathematics. The average adult can add and subtract. I would even go as far as to say the average person who is good at math could pass the math case. Teaching mathematics requires an understanding of the content so deep that you not only understand it for yourself, but understand the misconceptions of others and how to correct and redirect them. The first lesson plan I wrote took 20 open tabs of research for one day of instruction. That was the day I realized just how much work goes into knowing the content you are delivering to your students. Student teaching helped me to develop the skill I was never quite able to grasp, and that is time management. Let me be clear and say it's definitely a daily work in progress, but a successful school year depends on great time management. Classes are a certain amount of minutes. School is 8 hours a day. There are 180 days in the school calendar and not a single second to lose. If I, as the teacher, am unable to manage the time I'm given, I have set my students up for failure. Planning and pre-planning are skills I will keep with me every step of the way and continue to develop as my experience in education grows. The biggest success I faced was connecting with my students. Truthfully, practicum observation and the college courses I was taking did not allow me the opportunity to bond with the students the way I would have wanted. Student teaching gave me another chance, which I did not take for granted. There is no greater feeling than when students are excited to hear you teach, when students are excited to learn, and they enjoy the lesson just as much as you do. All day I hear, Miss Gruber, Miss Gruber, Miss Gruber, to the point where students ask me, do you get tired of us calling your name all the time? I laughed and I said, I guess I just have to get used to it. I love the fact that they feel comfortable asking me questions. This means that they not only value my words, but trust me not to steer them in the wrong direction. I do not take that trust lightly, and in return, I show up every day and give them my all. The biggest challenge I faced was not letting life into the classroom. Students do not care that their teacher could possibly have a personal matter, their car might have broken down, or they might have been feeling sick. I still have to show up because a day I would spend being selfish on things that will pass and I will overcome is a day of learning students will not get back. As a 22-year-old teacher, this was even more challenging because I'm still learning to leave the world outside the classroom. I will say that even with this challenge, in my student teaching experience, on my saddest days, there was always a student to make me laugh. They never knew what I had going on, but their light was enough for me to overcome on even my darkest days. Teachers aren't the only ones who have dark days. People often assume children do not have anything to worry about because they are young and under the care of others. Truthfully, some students have experienced more hardship from life than the teachers. I say that because on days where students are just misbehaving or not engaging with the lesson, I can't take it personally because students have challenges. I realize that I can implement another strategy to correct the behavior and give them grace. Rituals and routines are important and must start on day one in the classroom so that the students know what the expectations are in class. Going through, I learned in student teaching that if you give a child an inch, they'll take a mile. This means every behavior that is not appropriate needs to be corrected at that moment, and modeling appropriate behavior is ongoing throughout the year. I grew professionally during student teaching because I learned that teaching is a commitment. It is not a regular job where the only person you are responsible for is yourself. It is my chosen career. When I stepped into the classroom, I became the leader of 90 students. I say leader because they are not just looking at me to learn about y-intercepts. They are looking at me to see what is and what is not acceptable. They come to me for guidance, to share their achievements, and to understand why things happen the way they do. I cannot lead them coming into work inappropriately dressed, late, using vulgar language, or even playing around. I cannot expect anything from them that they cannot reference in me. In conclusion, I am thankful for student teaching at Albany State University because it has provided me with the most realistic experiences I could get in teaching. Showing up daily for not only the students but myself has taught me a lot about what it means to fully devote time and effort into my craft. I will always be thankful to my cooperating teacher, Ms. Bailey, for providing me with guidance and grace. My time as a student teacher is just beginning, and I am excited to see all the ways in which I will grow from here.
Thank you, Ms. Gruber. Now we will proceed with pinning of the middle grades education candidates. Will all middle education candidates please stand at this time? When your name is called, please step forward to the front center of the stage for pinning, and then return to your seat and remain standing until all names have been called. Also, will those individuals who will pin the candidate please come to the right of the stage and exit down the right of the stage. The student with the highest overall average in middle grades education is Ms. Jordan Gruber. Her degree major, of course, middle grades education. Her school assignment was DeKalb Academy of Technology and Environment in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Her principal was Dr. Henry McClatty, cooperating teacher, Ms. Nicole Bailey, university supervisor, Mr. Morris Arrington. Jordan Gruber is pinned by her advisor and the School of Education chair, Dr. Doreen Metlin, and the director of field and clinical experiences, Mrs. Zaporia Gilmore. Mrs. Precious Cuts Ashton. Her degree major was middle grades education, school assignment, Crisp County Middle School in Cordele, Georgia. The principal was Mrs. Lachelle Walker, cooperating teacher, Mrs. Tamika Allen, university supervisor, Dr. Anthony Owusu-Ansah. Mrs. Cuts Ashton is pinned by Dr. Cuthbert and her university supervisor and professor of the School of Education, Dr. Anthony Owusu-Ansah. Mrs. Lakita Robinson. Degree major is middle grades education. Her school assignment is South Georgia Regional Achievement Center in Albany, Georgia. Her principal was Mr. Marcel Loving, mentor teacher, Miss Beatrice Hayward. Her university supervisor was Mr. Morris Arrington. Mrs. Robinson is being pinned by our Director of Field and Clinical Experiences, Mrs. Zaporia Gilmore. Will you please give a round of applause to all of our graduates in the middle grades education program? Now, will the graduates in our Broadfield education program at Albany State University please stand? The education program prepares candidates to teach all academic content areas: English education, science education, special education, math, music education, and health and physical education. Each education major will be certified to teach their grade level according to their certification field, and they will receive the Bachelor of Science degree in education as well as a Georgia induction level certificate. The highest GPA among our practitioners in the education programs is Miss Glory C. At this time, we will have reflections from this esteemed practitioner.
Good evening, everybody.
I want to become a teacher so that I can give back to students physically, mentally, and emotionally. As a physical education teacher, I want students to exercise at an early age, but have fun while doing it. Students view exercise as a punishment, but it does not have to be. For example, well, at the time, I was teaching soccer to my students, and they would say they don't know how to play soccer or that they suck at soccer. But once they started playing, they forget that they don't know or that they are not great at it and end up beating those who play soccer outside of school. And while they are playing, they forget that they're getting their cardio in for the day. The students' love and excitement for me has surprised me the most. I can truly tell that I'm making a difference in their school day. They honestly keep me going in on my toes. I never know what I'm going to receive from them, whether it's a hug, a picture, them calling me mom, or them wanting to jump on my back. I develop effective time management skills, classroom management skills, leadership skills, communication skills, teamwork, and professionalism. My biggest success was teaching my students that losing is okay and there's no need to cry or get upset. I taught them to always have clean sportsmanship towards their peers and others outside of school. This has allowed them to strengthen their communication skills, achieve a more positive attitude, and build a stronger relationship with their peers and their friends. I learned that reflection is key. Teachers are reflective practitioners. Lesson and teaching practices can always improve. Self-reflections and conversations with others, like my cooperating teacher, created space for me to consider how I can improve, especially when I am not expecting teaching the same lesson 4 times a day. I soon realized that one size does not fit, and my instruction has to be differentiated and tailored even in PE to meet the needs of all students. I plan instruction for my students' thinking and continually assess students and use the data to drive my instruction. Classroom management and student engagement allowed the classroom to run more effectively and efficiently. My students are very attentive when it comes to being too loud or not being focused. They know the meaning of the give me 5 rule. To sit down with their hands in their lap, be quiet, listen closely, and have all eyes on me. Throughout this experience, I have grown to interact more with my peers, change my teacher setting vocabulary, and engage with all my students during class. I try my best to address my students with ma'am, sir, also to make sure that they are addressing each other appropriately while at school. I remind them daily that we are not at home in the bed or on the couch. I am not their friend or buddy, and their peers are not a bruh. And they can sing their favorite songs outside of school and to use language of the standards. My last day of student teaching was bittersweet. On the one hand, the end of student teaching meant that I was much closer to getting my own classroom or gym. On the other hand, it meant saying goodbye to everyone. I love the school community, the teachers to the students, from the teachers to the students. I thought to myself, how can I say goodbye to individuals who have made such an impact on me? I then realized that the people you meet are the best part of the teaching profession. Teaching means meeting individuals who will forever change your life. I'm so grateful for the people that I have met during my student teacher experience at Leadership Preparatory Academy, and I'm excited to meet more wonderful practitioners next year. I can't wait to start my teaching career. Thank you so much, Albany State University, where excellence is our standard.
Thank you, Ms. C. We will proceed with pinning of the education candidates. Will all those candidates in Broadfield education programs please stand at this time? When your name is called, please step forward to the front center of the stage for pinning and then return to your seat and remain standing until all names have been called. Also, with those individuals who will pin the candidate, please come to the right of the stage and exit down the right of the stage. The student with the highest grade point average is Miss Glory C. Her degree concentration is health and physical education, school assignment, leadership preparatory academy in Lithonia, Georgia. Her principal was Mrs. Janelle Turner, cooperating teacher, Miss Ava Allen Marshall, university supervisor, Mr. Morris Arrington. Miss Gloria C. is penned by her cooperating teacher, Miss Ava Allen Marshall, and university supervisor, Mr. Morris Arrington. And last but certainly not least, Ms. Janaya Charlton. Her degree major, concentration is music education, degree major, visual and performing arts, school assignment, Live Oak Elementary School in Albany, Georgia. Her principal was Dr. Latoya Jackson, cooperating teacher, Mrs. Judith Thompson, university supervisor, Mrs. Zipporah Gilmore. Ms. Charlton is being penned by Mr. Percy Charlton and her cooperating teacher, Mrs. Judith Thompson. One correction, Dr. LaFleur was the university supervisor. Thank you. Please give a round of applause to all of our candidates who have graduated with their Bachelor of Science degree, as well as initial teacher certification. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you all for a wonderful tribute to our graduates, faculty, our mentors, and our partners. At this time, Mrs. Austin will lead our graduates in the creed.
Graduates, we are closer to your first day of school. I was thinking about Dr. Shoemate when she was talking about preparing you all for that first day. As a first day of my first year as principal, on my very first day, everything went wonderfully until I released all the buses with no children on it. So she was so correct. No matter what kind of planning you do that first day, anything can happen. I have been charged to lead you through the teacher's creed. At this time, I'm going to ask you all to please stand, and I believe you have a copy. And I'm going to ask you to repeat after me. I am dedicated to ensuring that every child I teach receives a quality education. I will create a learning environment that encourages academic, social, and emotional achievement. I will hold high expectations for all students and myself. I will respect the hard-won gains of those educators in whose steps I walk and gladly share the very best practices with those who follow. I will remember that I'm not only serving children each day, but I am ultimately serving the one who created them in his own image. I believe in the power of teaching because someone else taught me. I am a teacher. I change the world one student at a time. Congratulations.
Okay, as we get closer to the end of our program, just a few little things, and we'll have words from Dr. Armstrong. So our student teachers and interns, they've had a busy and productive semester. I'm sure they know what the number 600 means. What's the significance? They have acquired 600 hours each for their clinical hours to complete their internships and their student teaching, for a total of 10,800 hours for the semester among the 18 of them. Give them a hand for that hard work. Under Mrs. Gilmore's tutelage, our candidates, they traveled to the Capitol this semester to learn more about advocacy in education. They also attended the Dougherty County Career Fair as a unit, all dressed in blue. And as a result of the participation in the Career Fair, of our 18 candidates, 15 have secured jobs, and 3 are either awaiting their confirmation or just weighing their options. They're weighing their options. That's 84% rate of employment. Again, big hand. And they also acquired what we call Project WOW certification through a one-day immersive professional development at Chi Hall Park. And for that, these students, they have a couple of special recognitions they'd like to present at this time before Dr. Armstrong comes up. So Tatiana first, and
This is a token of appreciation to Dr. Angela Shoemate. On behalf of myself and my classmates, we would like to show you our appreciation for your unwavering commitment to Albany State University and for being our guest speaker on this evening for our Spring 2024 pinning ceremony.
Good evening. We'd like to call Ms. Gilmore to the stage. To Ms. Gilmore, on behalf of the graduating class of the 2024 the Unsinkable Albany State University, we want to extend our appreciation and gratitude to you. Your relentless efforts and unwavering love has made an impact on our lives as educators. Your kind words and transparency has reassured the class of 2024 on why we want to become teachers. If we could buy you a mansion, we would. However, we're not quite millionaires yet. So we'd like to leave you with this quote. Teaching kids how to count is fine, but teaching kids what counts is best. So thank you for teaching us that excellence is indeed the standard.
Dr. Armstrong, next. Afterwards, you all are invited to enjoy refreshments with us.
All right, good evening. I have been told to keep this brief. I'm the only thing standing between you and cupcakes, and I'm not the one to stand between teachers and cupcakes. So I want to conclude this evening. First, I want to express my profound gratitude to the School of Education, faculty, and staff. If you all would please stand, if you're in the room, all faculty and staff, teacher of education. Your exceptional efforts in guiding and nurturing our students, preparing them for the next phase of their journey, have not gone unnoticed. Please accept my heartfelt appreciation and thank you again for all that you do for our students. Today, we celebrated not just an academic achievement, but a profound passage of commitment. Each pen given today marks a covenant with the future, a promise to carry forward the noble legacy of teaching. Your commitment is a testament to your dedication and passion. To our graduates, as you stand on the brink of entering the classroom, remember, teaching is the only profession where you steal things from home and take them to work. Get ready to stock up on dry erase markers, pencils, and Band-Aids. You're going to need them. Remember that education is as much about inspiring hearts as it is expanding minds. May you step into your classrooms with courage and joy, knowing that you are the architects of tomorrow's dreams. And while your students may not always remember the Pythagorean theorem, they will remember your kindness, your passion, your time, and the day you wore your shirt backwards. As we wrap up, let's appreciate the families and friends who supported our graduates. Without their patience, love, and your Netflix password, this journey may not have been as bearable as it is. Graduates, if you would please stand and thank your families, friends, and supporters. Thank you. You may be seated. And to our new teachers, may your coffee be strong, your Mondays be short, your classrooms full of love, laughter, and learning. Go out there and teach like the legends you're destined to be. Now let's go eat cupcakes.
All right, that concludes our program. Thank you so much for spending time with us this evening. Pardon? I'm sorry. We're done. She said no. What does she want? Oh, she wants a picture. Okay. So she's trying to get a photo with you guys. You can get your Mountain Dew. I'm going to give you the box. Yes. Okay, hold on. Thank you. Great job, Dr. Shoemaker. I missed that. Hey, Taylor.